Hi, it's Deb from Deb's Days Designs, and I'm back with another project. Today we're making a little decorative dress to store and hold our clothespins. This is the third one we've made. This one gives us a chance to use up some of our fabric scraps and strips in the pocket. If you'd like to see the other two styles, I've added the links down in the description below this video. Before I get started, I publish new content frequently, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel or stop by the blog at debsdays.com and check out my Etsy shop, Deb's Days Designs. That's where you'll find a digital version of this project. You can download it at home and print out the entire pattern. It has the materials list and cutting measurements, step-by-step written instructions, color photos, and the printable pattern pieces. Or, to save paper, read through the directions on your device and just print out the pattern pieces. All right, let's get this project started. Along with your regular sewing supplies for this project, you'll need a main fabric, a lining fabric for the back, a lining fabric for the pocket, a foundation fabric for the pocket, fabric strips, a package of 1/2-inch wide double fold bias tape, ribbon and optional trims, clothes hanger. I used an adult-sized one. It measured about 16 inches wide. And of course, you'll need the printable pattern pieces. Since this is truly a scrap fabric project, I'm sewing fabric scraps of different lengths together to make longer strips. First, cut out pattern pieces A and B and tape them together. Fold the back lining fabric in half and place the pattern piece against the fold, pin it in place, and cut it out. Fold the main fabric in half so it measures 9 inches wide. Place the pattern piece against the fold, pin it in place, and cut it out. These will be the back pieces of the dress. Separate pattern pieces A and B. Tape piece C to the top of piece B. Place the pattern against the fold of the main fabric and cut it out. This will be the front piece of the dress. Fold the pocket lining fabric in half and place pattern D against the fold and cut it out. Place one of the fabric strips, right side facing up, vertically from top to bottom on top of the foundation fabric. Center a second fabric strip on top with the right side of the fabric facing down. Align the right edges on the long sides of the strips. Stitch along the long edge using a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Press it open. Place another strip on top of the last strip, right sides facing each other. Stitch along the long edge of the fabric using a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Press it open. Continue adding and sewing strips until you reach the end of the foundation fabric. Flip the piece over and use the foundation fabric as a guide to cut away the excess ends of the strips. Fold the pocket in half and place pattern D against the fold and cut it out. Place the fabric strip pocket with the right side of the fabric facing up. Place the lining fabric on top with the right side of the fabric facing down. Stitch around the pocket piece using a 1/4-inch seam allowance, leaving the top open for turning. Notch the curves. Turn the piece right side out and press it. Cut a piece of bias tape so it measures 15 inches. Find the midpoint of the pocket piece and the midpoint of the bias tape. Make sure the widest part of the bias tape is on the bottom. Open up the fold of the bias tape and place the raw edges of the top of the pocket near the crease of the bias tape. Fold the bias tape back into place and use fabric clips or pins to hold it in place and stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the open edge of the bias tape. Don't stitch the bias tape beyond the edge of the pockets. Place the front fabric piece with the right side of the fabric facing up. Place the pocket on top. Angle the loose ends of the bias tape up slightly. Stitch the bias tape to the dress from the top corners of the pocket to the sides of the dress and reinforce the corners of the pocket with additional stitching. Don't stitch the pocket closed. Stitch around the sides and bottom of the pocket about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the fabric to finish the pocket. Add additional trims if desired. Place the back fabric with the right side of the fabric facing down. Place the back lining fabric on top with the right side of the fabric facing up and use fabric clips or pins to hold it in place. Stitch all around the piece using a scant 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Stitching these pieces together with the wrong sides facing will help limit shifting for our next steps. With the back lining fabric facing, fold the armhole edge over a 1/4 inch and press it. Fold it over another 1/4 inch and press it. Do the same on the other side. With the wrong sides of the front fabric facing, fold the armhole edge over a 1/4 inch and press it. Fold it over another 1/4 inch and press it. Do the same on the other side. Stitch each armhole about 1/8 inch from the open edge of the fold. Place the back piece with the right side of the main fabric facing up. Place the front piece on top with the right side of the fabric facing down. Align all the edges and use fabric clips or pins to hold it in place. Stitch the shoulders together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Stitch from the bottom of the armhole, around the piece, and up to the bottom of the other armhole using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Use an overlock stitch or a combination straight stitch and zigzag stitch to reduce fraying. Clip away the extra bias tape. Turn the piece right side out and press it. Open up the fold of the bias tape. Again, make sure the widest part of the bias tape's on the bottom. Place the raw edge of the neckline near the crease of the bias tape and fold the bias tape back in place. Work your way around the neckline using fabric clips or pins to hold it in place. Stitch all around the neckline about 1/8 inch from the open edge of the bias tape. Add additional trims if desired. Find the midpoint of the ribbon and place it at the midpoint of the back of the neckline. Stitch back and forth over the ribbon to hold it in place. Place the clothespin dress on the hanger and tie it to secure it in place. And just like that, we have a brand new stylish way to store our clothespins, or anything else we can think of.